Hello guys, this is Yellow Cloud, and today we're going to be ranking the Fnaf games. Now this is a bit different, and it's a tier list. Now if you guys want me to do this more in the future, yeah, you could just let me know, and you can let me know by liking the video or commenting down below, and I can also do some quizzes with like Jetpunk or something. I'd be interested in doing that, just changing up the content a little bit. Now sorry if you hear any loud noises in the background. There is bathroom construction going on in my house, so don't mind that. And it is a bit bright over there because the window is open because it's a nice day. But we should just get into ranking these FNAF games, of course, and they are in order. And of course there's Five Nights at Candy's here, but I've never played it. I have seen people play it, but it's not worthy of my ranking because I have never played it myself, and it's not really a FNAF game. But yep, this is in S, B, C, D. Let's go. FNAF 1 is an S tier because, you know, it's obviously the classic, the first game in the series, and it deserves the S tier because it has that, you know, honestly, that very terrifying atmosphere with it. Even years later, it can still be perceived as one of the scariest games in the series because it was just so original at the time. And that's why it got popular. You know, it's a very scary game, and it did have the formula, which was, you know, watching Foxy, making sure Freddy doesn't move to jump scare you. And I do play this one annually, or even biannually, because it's a very classic game. Now let's go to FNAF 2. That is also an S tier because when these two games were popular, that's when I started getting into the series, and these are the two games I played the most back in like 2015, 2016, because they were just honestly really good games, and there's always just something entertaining about playing these games with, you know, my friends. And FNAF 2 has that. Maybe it's not necessarily as scary, but it has the classic cycle, and, you know, I just get nostalgia from these two, of course, because, you know, they're original games. And yeah, FNAF 2 is really good. Obviously the cycle, like I said, the cycle with the mask and the music box, that you can get used to that very quickly, and I don't know why. It just makes it one of the most comfortable games in the series to me, in my opinion. Also, the introduction of the new animatronics and seeing the classic ones all like torn up, you know, made you believe that, you know, it's from the future, but it's actually a prequel. So it is very entertaining, and I just love FNAF 2. Now, FNAF 3 will go C tier, okay, because FNAF 3, just gameplay wise, really it was not that good because it wasn't very exciting, it wasn't very scary, and really the only scare you would get was from Phantom Foxy, which, you know, is just a cheap jump scare that you basically wouldn't have control over unless you like peeked and then went to the camera and went back. But yeah, but I do like the experience of FNAF 3, and whenever I play it, I'm not too excited to play it because, you know, it's just a mediocre game. But the villain Springtrap is very good, and there are good cutscenes, the mini games, of course, the good ending that kind of saves it from being, you know, the worst game, and obviously the emotional music at the end when you get the good ending. That just, you know, it makes you appreciate the game, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to think it's a good game. Now let's go to FNAF 4. FNAF 4 is a tier. Now that might surprise you guys, but if it does, you guys should definitely play the game first, because before I played the game, I just thought it was a mediocre game. I didn't think it was too special, but I played it and I really appreciate it, and I think it's really underrated game. It's super fun, and you know, it's thrilling, it's exciting, and it is scary. It is terrifying, probably the scariest game, maybe aside from Help Wanted VR, because Help Wanted, obviously that's VR. You're put into that world. But FNAF 4 is very terrifying. And I do like the Night 5 switch for Nightmare Fredbear. Very cool. And yeah, why is it not an S, you might say? It just doesn't have the legendary status, I would say, as the original games do have. But it is very underrated, probably the most underrated game out of FNAF, just in the FNAF series, because it's really good. And if you have not played it, you should play it, because for a while when you start playing, you have to kind of get over your fear of it, because it is very terrifying. But once you know how to play it, it's really not nearly as scary, but you still want to be determined to beat it. Now let's go to FNAF World. Put that as C tier. It is probably the worst game that FNAF is associated with, but I'm not going to say it's a bad game, because I did get entertained within with my first 3 or so weeks that I played it. Then I got a little bored because I beat it normal mode, but it's a fun game to play, and it is free, so that's worth it. But it's just, I don't see it being like super entertaining where you can come back to it and all that stuff. But I do think it's underrated. It doesn't deserve as much hate as it gets, because you should at least try it because it's free. But if you don't want to do that, I understand. It is a little outdated too, because that is also something that might set it back a little. It is outdated, and so it doesn't have like any of the sister location and beyond characters. But that's completely fine. I still think it's a fun game, but it does get boring after a while, and that's why it's C tier. Now, sister location, we'll put it A. We'll put it A tier. We're not going to put it S tier. But sister location is a very good game, because it is, there's different things you do. Every single night is a different thing that you do. And it's just very cool. Honestly, it's one of the most it might be the most entertaining game in the franchise, and it's very good. I really liked it. I did, and if night 1 was actually had something that you could die from, that you have to overcome or avoid, this could be even greater. Fortunately, night 1's just a freebie night, but the custom night in this game is also very underrated. I'd say it definitely surpasses the FNAF 1 custom night. I do think it is greater than the FNAF 1 custom night, and it's pretty fun. I have not beaten the Golden Freddy mode on it, though, because that is tough as crap. But sister location is very cool. Also, very, very, really cool set of animatronics, actually. They're all pretty unique, and the characters look really cool, especially Ennard is insane. The Ennard night took me a while to beat. It is insane. But, yeah, you guys should definitely play this one, but it is a very popular one. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys probably have already played it. Now we can go to Pizzeria Simulator. We'll put that at a B tier. And that's mostly because The Office is a little underwhelming. It does have that scary atmosphere with it, though, that I do appreciate, because you can't necessarily see exactly where the animatronics are. There is that like weird tracking system, but it's the off scene's all right, because you can get by it if you have the upgrades, like the upgraded printer and stuff. You can get by that pretty fast, and you do want to finish fast, and there's no time limit. You just have to get your tasks done. But I think the off scene really sets it back, because the customization thing is really, or the customization part of the game is very cool, and I think that might save it from being a C tier, because that is awesome, because there's so much stuff you can do. You can play mini games, get a lot of money. You could do a lot, get animatronics, buy stages, buy new chairs, new stuff. You can do a lot with customization of the game, and I think it's funny. You can choose to ruin your restaurant, or you could choose to make it unique, and yeah, I think that's what really says. Also, the mini games are very good too, and you can play a lot of different mini games that you have, and that'll earn you money, and that'll be more beneficial to you to upgrading your restaurant. So, and I do think the cast of the game is pretty cool. It's just all the scrapped animatronics and stuff like that, and the salvage portion is also cool because you can get a lot of money from that, and it's a little scary too, but I'm going to put that in the B tier. And let's go to Ultimate Custom Night, which also deserves the B tier ranking because I'm just going to put it there because it doesn't have a story much. It does have cutscenes, but that's not really much of a story. The game is just centered around you setting different animatronics up and you're playing against them, which, it's a good concept, but the other games just have more of obviously the story. The story is a very lacking element, but I'm not saying it deserves a story. I think it's perfectly fine the way it is. I don't think it needs a story, but and it is fun by itself. You can me and my friends last summer we would go to the park and set on mobile. We'd set different nights for each other to do, set different challenges. So there's a lot of fun things you can do with it. And it's a very interesting concept, just being a custom night alone. But also there was a few snubs from the game. Obviously, too bad there's no Funtime Freddy, there's no Withered Foxy, no Nightmare Foxy. Those are some pretty important characters that were not able to make it into the game, unfortunately. But I'm gonna keep that at a B tier. Now, Help Wanted deserves. I'm going to put it A tier because I've not played the VR version. I don't know if that's going to be a big step up to put it in S tier. I'm going to keep it at A tier because I played it on my very own Switch. I'm not going to... why did I pull it out? I didn't need to pull it out. Sorry, I just put it back. It is fun because it's definitely the largest FNAF game there is. There's so much you can do. And it incorporates basically the first three games at a completely different perspective. Instead of just a point and click stuff, you actually can move around. You can control all this. You can pick up a cup on the desk and throw it. You can do a lot, and that's cool alone. And then there's also separate different levels that aren't directly from past games, but they do incorporate elements from the past games, like the animatronics, like the entered elevator level or the Funtime Freddy inside the bedroom. Those are very cool, and I think it would be much scarier in VR. However, I don't have a VR system. If someone wants to donate me $500, I'll buy one. I'm joking. You don't have to do that, but I'll put Help Wanted there. There's a lot to do in it, and I feel like this one would probably take the longest to complete. I believe DJ Sturf had a 3-hour something runtime completing the entire game, which that's a fair amount of time actually compared to the other games. You can beat most of the other games within an hour or so, but it'll take a bit longer with Help Wanted, and it's a very good game. Now, let's go to Special Delivery. It's the last one we're going to rank. I'm putting it B tier. Now, a Special Delivery is the one where you get out your phone and you start, you spin around. It's an AR thing, and the animatronics will come at you. You have to find where they are. You have to shock them. And it's a very cool game because you can collect a lot of stuff. You can collect a lot of suits, and, you can do a bunch of different things. And you can have friends that send you animatronics, and you take down those animatronics, get their suit. So it's a very cooperative. It can be very cooperative actually. So that's very cool. But I did experience a couple glitches that cost me or made me lose a couple of times, which was unfortunate. I'm hoping he's patched them by now because I'll be honest, I haven't played it in a couple months. But there was also a lot of in-app purchases too, and it's kind of hard to get those fast tokens, which would really help out. So that's unfortunate. But I do think it's a fun game, and it's a free app, so I believe you guys should at least try it out. Even though it's not really like the other games, it's still an alright game for you to play. And I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, I believe so. So if you guys agreed to my rankings, please let me know. And if you disagreed, also let me know about that in the comments below. My Discord server will be in the description below, as well as my Twitch. And if you guys have any reaction requests, just leave them in the comments below, or you can go to my Discord server and message me. And I believe that's it. And once again, if you guys like my tier list, just let me know. And if you want me to keep doing these, suggest me some tier lists to do. I'll switch up the content a little bit. But that's really it. So I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.